Well, let's cross live now to Benin, where Dan Osa-Ogbegie, member of APC Media Campaign Council for the Edo governorship election, is, and he's going to be speaking to us on this in more detail. Sir, many thanks for joining us on Newsday today. It's a pleasure to have you. We will definitely be talking about the online polls, but more so, Mike Ogini, that's the electoral commissioner in Akwa Ibom, he recently accused your boss or a member of your team of aggravated defamatory comments, and he's suing him for ₦1 billion. Now, these were comments that were made regarding saying that he was accused, or rather, of conniving to rig the elections with, of course, the sitting governor in Edo State. What's the latest on this?
That I can actually speak on what Mike Ogini is saying, because my party has exhausted all they needed to say about it. They have the evidence. And they have also said that if he tries to controvert the allegations, then they will come out with more facts and evidence. So I'm not sure I should speak on that now.
Okay. If politicians, according to the IGP, I'm sure you must have heard about that, are stockpiling arms or beating the drums of war just for an election, have they stopped to think about those they're going to use to execute these plans? The youths. What legacy are you, the politicians, leaving for the youths? What examples are you setting for the youths? That's a cause for concern.
Yes, thank you very much. I am a member of the APC, and I would say disciple of Pastor Osa-Ogbegie. We don't believe in violence. We believe in non-violent approach to our politics. Pastor Osa-Ogbegie is noted as a person of character, a person of integrity. He's a pastor. He believes in reaching out to the people, telling them about his agenda for the Edo people. In 2016, when he contested on the platform of the PDP, he did not resort to violence and aggression. He spoke to Edo people, he interacted with them, and told them about his simple agenda. In 2020, he has come back to the APC, a party was very instrumental in its formation. He has also brought back the simple agenda, and he's talking to Edo people. He's convincing them why he should be the governor at this time. So there's no reason for him to resort to violence. What we should be doing is, talking to the other side. Godwin Obaseki and his deputy, who have always threatened violence, and they be speaking with so much aggression, demanding the second term with a menace, and threatening those who oppose them. There have been evidence of their resort to violence. Now, for instance, Godwin Obaseki, when he was talking to his supporters, told them that anyone who doesn't support them, they should tell him, and he will deal with such a person. He came out earlier this year to also warn that he will deal with Adams Oshiomhole. And he said Adams Oshiomhole should not enter Edo State without his permission. So the man speaks as though he is a dictator in a military regime. Not even during Sani Abacha that we had, that kind of, this kind of comments coming from a person in government. So I think that Nigerians and the police, because we wrote a petition to the Inspector General of Police, and on the basis of that petition, 7 people who Godwin Obaseki used to drive out members of the Edo State House of Assembly and take over the complex of the House of Assembly were arrested. And as we speak, they are in detention, they are being prosecuted. And they confessed certain henchmen of Godwin Obaseki, for instance, Kebiru Ajetu, former Speaker of Edo State House of Assembly, who is also a special advisor on political matters to Godwin Obaseki, who is on the run as we speak, and who went to court to stop the police from doing their work of arrest, investigation, and prosecution. So you see that they have a lot to hide. The PDP has, from the very beginning, taken to thuggery and violence. You recall before Godwin Obaseki, when he was coming to the PDP, he went to pledge his allegiance to the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, and that one, also told him that he will back him. We know the history of violence in Rivers State, political violence in Rivers State. So he's trying to bring bring it to Edo State now. But we are telling Edo people, we are canvassing them, and we are moving from ward to ward, from unit to unit, from local government to local government, to engage Edo people, to sell our ideas to them. The PDP is not doing that. They are not campaigning. What they do is a jamboree. They take people, their 5,000 senior special assistants, they take them around the state.
All right,
they
Jan,
go from place to place.
all I hear
to insult.
All I hear from you is mostly allegations against the opposing party. And I begin to ask the question, with a bit of desperation being shown by both your party and the PDP, is it that they do not believe in the people to make the right choice for the future of Edo State? Because PDP has also accused, you've had PDP on the show, and they've also made allegations against the APC. We've seen that on the papers, we've seen that everywhere. And also, you're here today making serious, grave allegations against the PDP. And we are now beginning at this point with the IG even trying to wade into this particular issue. Is it that the people of Edo State cannot be trusted with making a simple choice on who to go for, whether it is the pastor or it is the incumbent governor?
That is actually the point I was making, that we believe in the people, we believe in the Edo people. Pastor Osa-Ogbegie has from time to time engaged the Edo people and told them his manifesto. Osa-Ogbegie has never had an agenda for Edo. In 2016, he did not have, and now he doesn't have. That means he doesn't believe in Edo people. And he's involved in scaremongering, to make Edo people run away from the election. But we are engaging Edo people and telling them to go and vote, that there will be peace. We have written petitions to the police. They have not written any single petition to the police. They only go on media to make wide, spurious allegations against our activities. But there is no single evidence that they have against what they accuse us of. But we have a series of evidence, against what they are doing.
So you say that you have...
And we have mentioned names as well. They've not been able to mention a single name of our member who has been involved in violence. But we have mentioned many of their members. Now, for instance, Kabiru Ajato, that is now on the run from the police and has also gone to court to stop the police from carrying out their duties, is on the run. And we mentioned him. He's a henchman of the Osa-Ogbegie administration. And there are many others who are lying low right now. We have also mentioned names. They've been involved in violence, and we have evidence to show. And the evidence is with the Nigerian police.
Okay, let me come in here because you say that you have evidence. You say that you have evidence, and I believe I started off this conversation speaking about the letter that Mike Guinea was offended by, that you said you didn't want to talk about in detail. But why I was a bit concerned with that is that this is about the people, and if there is evidence of corruption going on when it comes to the elections, then the people deserve to have that evidence. So do you really think that the people of Edo State are listening to a campaign against a man that people like Comrade Adams Oshiomhole and other members of your party touted as the completely best man for the job 4 years ago?
Oh, well, when he was running on their platform, of course, they had to market him. And Oshiomhole has come out to say that he was deceived. First of all, the man had credibility problems with his certificates, with his credentials. The party did not know until the PDP, this same PDP, went to court to that Osa-Ogbegie had spurious certificates. And Oshiomhole did not know at the time, and members of the party did not know. So it took them some time to be able to know the character of the man they supported at that time. And they backtracked. They said they will not support him for second term. And that was when the governor came out full colors to fight for his second term. And he said that his second term ambition was non-negotiable. That is the foundation of all of this aggression that we see in Edo State, that his second term ambition was non-negotiable. And some of us told him that in a democracy, everything is negotiable. Democracy is about give and take. Democracy, we have plurality of opinions. In a democracy, people are allowed to have their opinion. You can have your opinion that your government has done well for Edo people. I am allowed to also have the opinion that your government has not done well. And we are able to debate, to show and prove, our various opinions that we are holding on to. So if the party at that time believed in him based on what he presented to them, and after maybe some time, they saw that They were deceived. So they also had the right to backtrack and say that they were not going to support him anymore. Now, of course, they reached out to the 2016 candidate of the PDP, who was a founding member of the APC. And, he
all right.
He currently has their ticket.
Let me ask you this. Why should being elected to serve your people, your country, be a question of war? I mean, the IGP has spoken about stockpiling arms. The INEC, the umpire, electoral umpire, says if there's violence, they will cancel the election. So why should being elected to serve your people be a question of war?
That is a question that we should be asking Godwin Oba-Seki.
No, but the IGP is talking about both parties. He says both parties or politicians are stockpiling arms. He didn't say PDP.
No, of course.
He didn't say APC or ADP. He didn't particularize.
You know, you cannot expect them to point accusing fingers at one particular party at this stage. What they will do is to admonish all the parties. That's what they did. But you are a journalist. You should be able to follow up with the evidence of violence that has been on in Edo State in the last 1 year, and those who are making very inflammatory statements in the media. You cannot see anywhere Pastor Osa-Ogbegie, threatened violence in this election or in any election that he has been involved in. You cannot see anywhere. But there are many times Godwin Oba-Seki has threatened violence. Many times I can give, off my head, I can give 10 examples. Even Philip Shaibu, who has always had a history of violence, in 2016, after that election, the INEC representative for Esako West, his local government, made the allegation that Philip Shaibu threatened him, put a gun on his head, that he has to accept the result he brought from his ward, and he refused to accept. It was on all the national television at that time. So, people like that, elements like that, we must be able to quiz them, to be able to ask questions. Let's not just say, oh, all politicians are the same. No, we cannot say that. That would be a blanket statement. Let's not say all the parties are involved in violence. That would be a blanket statement. But let us situate blame where there is blame. We have always preached peace. We have always preached no-violent approach. Pastor Osa-Ogbegie, who is our standard bearer in this election, has been known as a man of peace. And he has always preached peace. In 2016, when he contested for the governorship, he did not resort to violence. In short, in Edo State, we've been involved in many elections in Edo State. We don't resort to violence. We are always engaging. We debate our ideas. But this is the first time that, there's a resort to violence, and it is because Godwin Oba-Seki and Philip Shaibu are very desperate of returning for their second term.
Thank you, thank you for your time today here on Newsday, for trying to shed some light on the wranglings and also the build-up to the 19th of September election. We wish you and your party the very best of luck on the polls, and may the best man win.